Hey guys, it's Doug. I've been meaning to make a video for a while, but every time I stop for the night, I'm too damn tired and forget. And also, I figured I'd just make a video while I was driving because I thought of it. And you probably can't see me very well from this angle, and it's probably not the best angle. But anyway, you don't really need to see my face anyway. I'm really just talking to you. This video I was going to make about the Schneider National Dedicated position. I really didn't find a whole lot of information on this position when I took it. So I want to try and help anybody out that might be looking at it. Basically, you're going to run dedicated accounts, or depending on, from what I understand, there's two different fleets within National Dedicated. One is more hands-on, which is going to be a lot of driver unload. That's going to be your dollar accounts and that. I actually started on that and didn't like it because it was a lot of work. But if you are, if you want to do a lot of physical work in that, that can be good for you. It's not horribly bad. It's just the way they load the trailers is what really got me. I didn't really mind the unloading. It's just the way that they unload the trailers, and probably depending on which dollar account, which distribution facility you're working out of, that could really vary. But you can. It is nationwide, so any dedicated account in the nation. But if you live on the East Coast, they're probably not going to send you to the West Coast unless they know you're planning on staying out for an extended period of time. The position pays a salary or a daily rate, not a per mile rate, which I believe the daily rate varies depending on what part of the United States you're from. I'm from Florida, and I think we're kind of on the low end down there because there's really no freight coming out of Florida, so I think they kind of penalize us for that. But it's a daily paid position. You are paid 7 days a week as long as you are available for work, meaning you're not sick and you're not at home. You do get paid for resets because a lot of the dedicated accounts do not work on the weekends. So most weekends you'll be off, but you'll be at a truck stop doing a reset. But you get paid for that. Now, the more miles you run, obviously because it's a daily paid position, the more miles you run, the less money you actually make per mile. So it kind of disincentivizes you to want to, run a whole lot of miles. I only usually do it when it benefits me to some extent. Like if I want to go to a friend's house and I'm going to do a reset near, where I have family or friends in the country, I'll run hard. I'll run over 600 miles a day. But when I do that, I'm really only making, like 20-some cents a mile for running that. Where I usually try to keep it around 400 miles a day. And the reason it's paid daily is because it is, and you're doing dedicated, it's where you may run 500-600 miles one day, but the next day you may only run 100 because you're going to different stops. You're not paid stop pay, and you're not paid unload pay like you would on a regular dedicated account. You're just paid that daily rate. Now I know when I was on the dollar account that my daily rate kind of worked out to about the same as what the guys who were getting paid mileage and stop pay and unload pay were making. I think I may have actually did a little better than them. But like I say, you don't get paid the stop pay and the unload pay. Now, I was on the dollar account, then I switched fleets because I didn't want to do so much unloading. And I came over to what they call the first to final fleet. Which you could actually be in a straight truck delivering to people's houses. That's rare. But you could also be doing a lot of LTL freight, to different businesses with multiple stops. But most of those, I did some of that, and I didn't unload anything. It was just back to the dock, and they unloaded it, and then you close up your doors and take off. And then I also do a lot of terminal to terminal because Schneider owns Watkins Shepherd, which is LTL. And I've kind of been running their freight for them the last month or so. And doing terminal to terminal, kind of over the road stuff, which I really like that better, even though I get paid a daily rate and don't get paid per mile, and probably could make more money if I was doing it per mile. I like this, and then I still, you tend to sit around because they kind of have to find you loads, and every once in a while they'll actually throw you in a regular a Schneider load, where you'll go get live loaded and then have to go somewhere and get live unloaded. And you can tend to sit around a lot sometimes, but you're getting paid either way. That's the good thing about it. I sat 6 hours waiting to get repaired at a TA, and really I didn't care because I was getting paid either way. It ran my clock down to where all I could do then was go pick up the empty trailer I was supposed to get and go a little ways up the road and stop for the night because of the breakdown. But I got paid for that. As long as I'm not sick and I'm able to drive this truck, and as long as I'm not at home, I'm getting paid. So that's the upside of it. Downside of it is you may have to tailgate freight. You may have to unload freight. But other than that, it's not a bad deal. It's a guaranteed rate. The other thing that is an incentive with this position is, now, I don't know if this applies to every part of the country, but at least for Florida and everyone I know in this position, you're required to stay out for at least 3 weeks at a time. And they incentivize you to do that, and they incentivize you to stay out longer because on this account, a lot of times you're sent to startups. It's a new dedicated account that Schneider might have, and you're sent to it until they can recruit regular drivers. And you also kind of have to work out the kinks, which kind of benefits with having the daily rate because, you may be sitting because they don't have an arrangement with that shipper or that, receiver or whatever at the time, and you're kind of there to work the kinks out of the system before the regular drivers come in, or you're sent for surge if they haven't, need more drivers than they have for that dedicated position. So you're on different accounts. You might be on an account for a week, you might be on an account for a month, you might be on an account for 6 months, just depending on what the need is. But they have to kind of train you when you go to these new accounts. So they want you to stay longer because there's no sense in you coming in and training you and then, I'm going to go home, and then they have to bring another driver in and train them. And so they incentivize you to stay out longer. Like I said, the minimum's 3 weeks, but on your third week out, on top of your regular, daily pay, your weekly pay, you get an extra $250 bonus for your third week out. Your fourth week out, and every week thereafter, you get a $400 a week bonus. So it kind of benefits you to stay out extra weeks. Plus, you get 1 day home for every week you're out as well. So usually what I do is I stay out for 5 or 6 weeks at a time, and I go home for 5-6 days. And by staying out those extra days, that $400 and that $250 a week bonus kind of helps pay for the time that you're home and not making a paycheck. So it kind of evens out. Now, when you look at the job on the website listing, it'll probably say that you could make up to, I think it's like $70-something thousand or $80-something thousand a year. Yeah, that is if you basically come to work and never go home for the entire year, and you make that $400 bonus every single week after your fourth week. And also, if you get all of your other bonuses, which are your fuel bonuses and your safety and your on time and all that. And the problem with this position is that your fuel mileage varies all the time, because one day you may be in a city or making local deliveries and not driving, and the next day you may be driving, and your mileage is really hard to keep track of, or to get it where they want it, because they always raise the stakes on you too. So as soon as you meet their mile per gallon that they want, they raise it to what you made, you know. So if say they want you to make 6.8 miles per gallon, and you make 6.8 miles per gallon, or you make 6.9 miles per gallon, well, now your new goal is going to be 6.9 or 7 miles per gallon. And it's hard to do, and I don't know if any of the National Dedicated Drivers are getting their points for the mileage and all that, because we have a different set of criteria, and so don't count on that bonus money is basically what I'm saying. I never even planned on getting it because I idle the hell out of this truck. If it'll idle, I run it. You know, anything over 70 degrees, this truck will idle, and I found a couple little ways around that as well. So I idle this truck, you know, as much as possible, because I'm going to be comfortable. I mean, the day that they say they'll work in their office without air conditioning is the day that I won't idle my truck when I, you know, sleep, or, you know, if they want to sleep in their bedroom with no AC for the night, then I won't idle my truck when I'm sleeping at night. But anyway, that's a different subject. Let's see, did I cover everything? I think I did. You know, right now I'm kind of running some over-the-road freight. Actually, I'm running a Schneider load right now because I'm on my way home. And actually, I'm probably going to be leaving this position because I got family members some health issues at home, and I'm probably going to be looking to go for a local job. I've got some applications in, and I've done some phone interviews with some local companies, and I'm going to be doing some face-to-face interviews on my home time here. And I'm probably going to be going that route, so you know, I'll probably be working out my notice here if they even want it, you know. Otherwise, I'll just be parking the truck here after I go home and clean my stuff out of it. But overall, I really enjoy the position, and I would probably stay with it. You know, if I didn't have the situations at home. I will tell you, you better be a good backer, because you'll get yourself into some situations, especially on the dollar accounts. Those are always really fun to back into because they're always a blind side, and you're backing in a parking lot with cars who are moving around while you're trying to back, and no one's patient enough to wait on you to get where you need to go. And they're just interesting, and a lot of the other accounts I've been to are interesting, but it'll definitely polish your backing skills if you need that. But other than that, you know, that's basically what I can think of to tell you about the position offhand right now. I'm sure as soon as I stop the camera, I'll think of something else. But you know, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will try and get back to you. I'm not the best at that, because I see that someone's left a comment, and you know, I want to get back to them, but something else always seems to come up, and then it gets put on the back burner, and then I forget about it, and then I'll kind of do a surge where I come in and you know, try to answer everybody's questions at once. But I will try to get with you, or you know, if there's any other National Dedicated Driver happen to see this, they might correct me on some of the things I said, or they might be able to answer your questions as well. But anyway, I hope this helps somebody who might be looking into this position, and you know, good luck in your careers, and thanks a lot. That's it.